Hey, what's going on, everybody? John here at Havoc Maker Studio and FMP Wargamers. Let's talk about Las Vegas Open 2022, 2021/2022. It's the end of the 2021 season, going into 2022, and now that it's over, we're in the 2022 season. I think actually it starts literally the day after Las Vegas, at least for Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, and such. So any events coming up that you play this week goes into it. Now, what I want to talk about is Marvel Crisis Protocol. First, I want to give a big shout out to Xavier-Protocols. It is a great web page for all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, especially if you are just getting into it, want to play in the tournaments and such. This is a great web page for you to go to and get a good idea about the characters, the crisis cards, the various lists and resources that are available for Marvel Crisis Protocol, especially if you want to enter into the tournament scene. I was going to say the competitive scene, but if you're playing the game, you're already a competitive player. Congratulations. But if you want to be a tournament player, this is probably one of the top resources out there, besides this channel, that for tournament playing. So Las Vegas Open happened this last weekend. To get to be able to play, from what I've read so far, and I've reached out to a few people and confirmed, and I still could be missing something, but there were essentially, I'm going to say nationwide, but it could be worldwide, but nationwide qualifier events to get you into the Las Vegas Marvel Crisis Protocol tournament. Now, I think what that means is that normally, like other games at Las Vegas Open, say Warhammer 40,000, Malifaux, all those sort of things, you just buy a ticket and you attend the event. Congratulations. And you get to compete. Doesn't matter if you are the top ITC player for Black Templar or the worst player for Harlequins, say for Warhammer 40,000. You buy your ticket for the championship game and you go. All right. I mean, there's limited spots, and if this all ends up still being true, that's a little. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That's a little disappointing that they limited the number of Marvel Crisis Protocol people to a qualifier event. Okay, I think that's. I understand there's a lot of people out there, but I don't know. It feels like it's a disservice, and I really am. It's a rarity these days for me to use that term disservice, since some people get a little upset by that term. But I think it's a bit of a disservice by not opening up to everybody else and having a specialized qualifying event. Because what if there's no qualifying event in your state, but you want to go and play? I mean, I see both sides of the argument, but you know what? I'm not going to nitpick that right now. It looks like Houston might be having that. We've got the Bayou Battles or Bayou Championship going on right now. That could be in regards to creating a qualifier event to go to Las Vegas Open. I'll look more into that later on. I need to talk to Mr. Webster on that one. But anyways, we had a number of people attend, and we already kind of showed some pictures. We already talked about it, but let's look at the top cut, the stats, and the results. And this is one of the great things about the Xavier-Protocols page that I really like, because they give a good breakdown. Now, I'm not going to go over every single number. I'm just going to look at a lot of the highlights and kind of stress a few points as we get to the end. So, first off, love the picture. If anything, Thanos whooping the crap out of out of heroes. Though I look right here, they got Miss Marvel down on the ground at the base of the stairs, and she's got red hair, unless that's like blood, but her hair is like dark. So I'm not sure. We have to talk to the colors on that. So let's take a look at the Invitational. So it made up of top 10 players of day one and top 8 players from day 2 and one pre-qualified player from a feeder event. Okay. So let's take a look at the affiliations. I've talked about affiliations before, and I've got a couple of my, hey, you're getting into Marvel Crisis Protocol. Here's some things. Here's the basics. I talked about single affiliations, dual, and triple affiliations. And what this means is that your roster is focused on, say, Avengers as a single affiliation, or Avengers and Criminal Syndicate for two, or say Avengers, Midnight Suns, and the Defenders for a three. This isn't a big split right here, even as they're saying right there. That's not really something really stats to go by. It does give you some flexibility, but this is nothing really to go, oh, there's no real, statistically speaking, that's not a big difference between one and two affiliations. The three affiliations, that's a big difference. That's a little separate, but these other two, stat wise, that's not a significant difference. So let's take a look at least the top five affiliations. So Avengers at 38%. Now, mind you, this does not take into account if people were running dual or single, but at least if they didn't care about those stats, just cared about what affiliations were being run in total. So Avengers 38%, Midnight Suns at 25, 19% for Criminal Syndicate. Same thing with the Black Order, and then Spider Foes. Those are your top five. I'm gonna take a just a moment. Let's mention Web Warriors at 6%. Now, 6% Web Warriors is going to come up a little later, and this is really a surprising number. Some of this right here is telling me, or showing me, that a lot of people are stuck with a lot of the old, looking at the Avengers, Criminal Syndicate, and Black Order, and then a dash of the new with Midnight Suns and Spider Foes. And not a lot of people are still paying attention to Web Warriors, or they're just stuck in what's worked for so long. Now let's take a look at the bottom five, which Convocation, that's really relatively new. And I just, like I said, a lot of people, I think when you see these zeros, they're going with the tried and true. That this does not mean that Brotherhood of Mutants, Asgard, Inhumans, Uncanny X-Men, Wakanda, I mean, definitely unaffiliated, doesn't mean that they are a bad affiliation. Sorry, I lost my words. Bad affiliation. It just means that those attending this event weren't playing them. So it doesn't mean that they're bad. It doesn't mean you should go, well, I don't want to play Brotherhood of Mutants now. You head over to the Mutant Agenda. I had that link in my previous two videos, and Kyle gives a great breakdown of running the Brotherhood of Mutants. So just keep that, and always run what you want and make it work. Just like Tim Gunn likes to say, make it work. So top 10 or top 5 characters, Dr. Voodoo, which is awesome. And a bit surprising, I have yet to use him, but I've got him built, he's painted, and I am ready to use him. So Dr. Voodoo had the most at 50%. We have Black Cat Bullseye, of all people, which is really weird. I think he's one of those underdogs, but he's also one of those people that people just really kind of just look over, except for those people that make those point efficient or meta efficient lists. Bullseye 44%, Iron Fist at 44% alongside Black Cat, and then Ghost Rider. This is great. I love seeing at least 3 of my favorite characters, Dr. Voodoo, Iron Fist, and Ghost Rider, on that top list. Now, bringing in the bottom, some smaller numbers in the realm of zeros. There's a lot of characters right now. I think we're at around 110, 112 characters. Wolverine, Winter Soldier, Wasp, War Machine, Viper bring up the bottom 5 at 0%. There's a lot of other characters at 0% that are just getting overlooked. And this often happens, especially when newer models come out. It doesn't make these old models bad. It just means that a lot of people like to play with the new hotness. One thing about Marvel Crisis Protocol is that it is one of the most balanced games out there. And when you have virtually any list combination with any number of characters, some characters are going to get put off to the side. Some are going to rise up. So all we have to do is sit back and watch to see the ebb and flow of character usage. It doesn't mean that your favorite character is not good. It's just they're not being used for this particular event. So please keep that in mind, because there's a lot of powerhouses in here with a lot of great team tactics cards and a lot of great affiliations. They're just not being used at this particular event. So please keep that in mind. The crisis events, these were some of these are not a big surprise, but let's take a look at the top 3 for extract. These are the ones that they're choosing. We are looking at a research station attacked at 56%, fear grips the world as worthy terrorizes cities 44%, and alien ship crashes in downtown at 38%. Bringing up those is the bottom is the Montesi formula found. That's a Doctor Strange, the Mystic Wakanda herbs, Factor Fiction, and Deadly Legacy Virus cured. I believe that one is Mr. Sinister. So not too bad, but now these top 3 are pretty much a beat 'em up style, or that kind of extract where you get benefits basically from beating people up. It's just the brawl. You're just going to duke it out with other people. Now let's take a look at the secure gamma wave sweeps across Midwest. That's good. 50. That's an oldie, but a goodie, and it's basically making its way through at 50%. Infinity Formula goes missing. I'm not too familiar with that one. And Riot Spark over Extremis 3.0 at 44%. That is right out of the box, guys. And that's still doing good. Demons Downtown, even though it's number 4 in there at 31%, it's still a solid one. What surprised me, actually didn't surprise me, is Sword establishes base on Moon's blue area, dropping down. That I had a feeling that was going to drop down. There were some changes recently that pretty much just kind of pushed that off to the wayside. That was like a choice secure mission for definitely for tournament play, for any play. So let's take a look at tactics cards. There's a lot of tactics cards, guys. Remember, each character that comes out, there's like 3 to 10 if we look at Nick Fury Jr. and Shield Agents. There's I think there's 10 in there. And then there's the whole big set that comes in the core box, which, by the way, is all you need to play that game. So if you have not bought that box, literally that's everything you need. You don't have to buy any more. I know right now, if you go to Board and Brew in Humble, Texas, I don't know about online sales, but I know at least if you go in store, they always give a 15% off, whether it's pre-order or not, always 15% off. So a great opportunity for you to get that box or your favorite characters, right? So let's take a look at the tactics cards. Brace for Impact, that's a classic, 75%. Sacrifice, I'm not surprised about Sacrifice. This is really a good card. Let's just go ahead and take a look at it. It's for unaffiliated, it's reactive. If an allied character is within range 2 of another allied character and is targeted by an enemy attack, those allied characters may spend 1 power to play this card. The non-targeted allied character immediately becomes the new target of the attack, regardless of range and line of sight. It cannot add additional dice, etc., and cannot modify. This is, for some reason, I see the qualities for it, especially if you're not running characters for bodyguarding and such. This is definitely a good character to have out, or a good card to have out there. So not a big surprise, and we're going to get into Marked for Death in a minute, but this is another, even though it's not on the top 5, it's definitely one that's been seeing a lot of use. Marked for Death, unaffiliated, and it's active. 2 allied characters that are within range 5, which is huge range, of the same enemy character may spend 1 power each to play this card. This round, the enemy character loses and cannot gain stealth. Its speed becomes S, and it cannot modify or reroll its defense dice. That is a huge, it's 38%, so it's in the top 10 used. That is an amazing card. If I remember correctly, that comes in the box with, it's either Kingpin, or I think it actually comes in the box with Bullseye. So that is a really, really good card, especially when you have those amazing characters out there with the long range movement that gets all the bonuses to their dice rolls for defenses and such. Especially when you got support characters like Ghost Spider or Gwen Stacy, Spider Gwen, whatever you want to call her. Great support characters and that like to stay out of range because they're not a heavy hitter. So Mark for Death is really good. Not a surprise that it's there. At the like I said, there's a lot of cards, guys. At the bottom, seeing red, which I think is a Hulk card, pentagram of fa la 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 la. That's Doctor Strange. Face Me, Cruelty. Can I borrow that and execute? Those are all kind of the bottom 5 or 6 cards. Not too bad. So what was being played the most? The other one was like what was most chosen. Struggle for the Cube continues. That's a classic core box one. Mutant extremists target U.S. senators. Research station attacked for extract. Those are the most played, not the most chosen. And then secure demons downtown. That's right up there for being chosen or played versus chosen, and has our comeuppance come due. Riot sparks over extremis 3.0 and gamma wave sweeps across Midwest. Not a big surprise that those core box ones are being widely used. They're so good. There's great ones that come out with all the characters, not all the characters, but there's some great secure and extract missions that come out. But we're seeing a lot of the core box stuff really still being used largely over some of these already amazing missions and team tactic cards. So keep that in mind. Now they have here low sample sizes and random crisis selection makes the small pool hard to analyze. I get that, but I've often talked about the average threat. Some people have told me it's about 14, 15. I always thought it was 17. I thought it was a little bit higher, and here, at least for this event, it's kind of proven me right. Looking at the average of all those crisis missions that have been chosen, and 17 makes sense, and that gives you, on average, 5 characters, possibly 6 depending on what you're doing, but you're kind of hurting yourself. But 4 to 5 characters, which is a very comfortable game that's definitely doable in 90 minutes. Not a big surprise there that 17 was the most popular. Now, let's take a look at Mike Deluca, the winner. And he had, remember I was talking about the Web Warriors was one of the lowest percentages. I think it's 6% of the team affiliations. And dual affiliations was in the middle between single and triple affiliations. Now, Mike brought, or Mr. Deluca, I'm just going to say Mike, no offense. Now, he brought a dual affiliation with Web Warrior, remember I mentioned them, and the Black Order, which is still a very good, solid list. And that's where you're going to be getting that sacrifice from for Thanos. So overall, he brought his characters was Black Cat, Black Panther, Corvus Glaive, Dr. Voodoo, Ghost Spider, Moon Knight, Proxima Midnight, Spider-Man's Miles Morales, Thanos, and Toad. A variety of 2 to 5, I think, or 6. 5 or 6 threat levels there. I think Thanos is 5. It could be 4. I think he's 5. Anyways, so he's got the minimum right there for each of his rosters, because when you remember, if you field your when you want to field affiliation, 51% of your roster needs to consist of that affiliation. So for Web Warrior, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Ghost Spider, and Black Cat. And then I believe it's Black Cat. Yeah. And then for Black Order, you got Thanos, Proxima Midnight, and Corvus Glaive, who out of all the Black Order, Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight are just the go-to. The other two, I can't even think of their names. Black Dwarf, maybe, and I don't know, Obsidian dude. I don't know his name. The floating, creepy magic guy. Don't see a lot of use. But I love the fact that Moon Knight's in there along with Dr. Voodoo. Yay! Anyway, so that's his list. He's also rocking the Reality, Mind, and Space Infinity Gems. And those now, if you guys don't remember, or if you haven't been paying attention to the errata that's been updated, they no longer count as a character in your roster. They now are just added as basically equipment to the characters. You have to put it on them when you build your roster. So really cool that he brought all that. His opponent, which I guess took second, brought looks like Black Cat, Black Widow, Captain. Oh, he brought an Avengers list. Captain America, both Captain America, Sam Wilson, Steve Rogers, Doctor Voodoo, Hulk, Iron Fist, Iron Man, Luke Cage. Which Luke Cage is like a great, great character to have, pretty much in a lot of lists. And of course, Vision. Really, it's definitely a solid list. And the third place guy brought in Guardians of the Galaxy, which a lot of people make fun of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but they kind of are on the rise again. So Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, Drax the Destroyer, which I hate that model, but still he's a lovable guy. Great at being invisible. Nebula and Angela, however you want to say it, Gamora, Venom, Bullseye, and Ghost Rider. There's that Bullseye for Mark for Death and Ghost Rider again. Not too shabby, man. There's our winners right there with the silver, gold, and bronze. Congratulations, guys. That's really amazing that they had this overall event. And these numbers are definitely interesting. So I highly encourage you, and I'll have that link in the description below. So on your way down, when you hit that subscribe button, if you're not already subscribed, and whenever you hit the like button and leave a comment, I will have the link for Xavier-Protocols. Actually, it's going to take you right to this page so you can look more diligently at the numbers and get a more detailed analysis of what I've done, because I'm really just kind of rehashing. And also, I wanted to bring some attention and some focus to Xavier-Protocols. That's what I like to do here on the channel. I want people to see as many resources as possible to help continue to grow this company and this game and this community, so we can start eclipsing a lot of those other games out there and show them what a great community looks like and what a great game looks like. Anyways, you guys have yourself a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I will be back maybe later on today for another installment for Marvel Crash Protocol. Or it might be concerning a game that I've now got one game under, and I'm really starting to dig it. It's called Frostgrave from Osprey Press, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, see you guys later.